Module 8, Research Tools and Learning Strategies. In this course, we've discussed various aspects of academic integrity and its importance in your academic experience. Together, we have examined the meaning of integrity, what constitutes a violation of academic integrity, and the serious consequences of cheating. Through focused lectures and real-life examples, we covered the concept of plagiarism and identified successful stylistic and technical strategies, as well as best practices on how to avoid inadvertent plagiarism. In Modules 5 and 6, I introduced you to the most common citation formats and showed you how to properly cite your sources both in MLA and APA. Finally, in Module 7, we discussed the meaning of intellectual property and looked at various strategies on how to avoid intellectual property infringement. We will conclude this course by providing you with a set of practical research tools and learning strategies to help you stay organized and remain in control of your school workload. Time management. We begin this conversation with the important topic of time management. Understanding how to effectively manage your time is critical to your success as a college student. This is particularly essential when dealing with the increasing demands of midterm and final exams. In fact, many cases of inadvertent plagiarism are the indirect result of procrastination and poor time management, as it was the case in our anecdotal stories from Module 3. As a student, managing your time efficiently means you're more productive, able to deliver quality work, and still have some time to enjoy your life. This process begins by developing a clear strategy that takes into consideration the cumulative school workload and the amount of time available to tackle it. It also means making sacrifices such as limiting leisure time. While it's difficult to predict the exact amount of time needed to complete a specific project, understanding the scope of projects can help you design an efficient roadmap to successfully complete them. Some assignments are straightforward and can be completed in one sitting. Others are complex in nature and may require days, if not weeks, to complete. With such assignments, you must plan in advance and find an optimal approach to divide a large project into smaller and more manageable tasks. It is therefore essential to regularly review your course syllabi and seek clarifications from your instructors regarding major assignments when necessary. Another key factor to effective time management is organization. Being organized helps you stay in control and reduces unnecessary stress and anxiety. Use your calendar to set up due dates and deadline reminders for all your assignments, and do so consistently. Maintain daily and weekly planners to stay focused and prepared for what academic life has in store for you. Lastly, be sure to take advantage of all the resources that are available at your institution, especially the library. Your school librarians are always there for you and can point you in the right direction, saving you hours of precious time. Stress management. As the end of the semester nears, it is normal to experience higher levels of stress. Stress itself is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, stress is a natural physiological process that helps us remain focused and motivated. However, it's important to maintain a healthy level of stress in order not to feel completely overwhelmed by the demands of exams and final projects. The key to staying in control is to establish a healthy balance between your studies and your physical and mental well-being. Your cognitive abilities are directly impacted by various factors that include sleep, diet, and physical fitness. So when it's time to write that 20-page research paper, be strategic and have a clear plan that takes into consideration both the scope of the paper and the amount of time needed to complete it. Always listen to your body and never sacrifice sleep in order to complete a school project. Your ability to think efficiently and creatively depends greatly on your physical well-being. and depriving yourself from a healthy night of sleep will significantly diminish your mental focus and often has a direct negative impact on the quality of your intellectual production. In an article published by the Harvard Medical School, the author writes, "Sleep helps learning and memory in two distinct ways. First, a sleep-deprived person cannot focus attention optimally and therefore cannot learn efficiently. Second, sleep itself has a role in the consolidation of memory, which is essential for learning new information." Source: harvard.edu. When you feel tired or experience what is referred to as writer's block, give yourself a short break. Taking a long walk or spending an hour at the gym are both excellent options to relax your body and give your brain a chance to recuperate. Being systematic and avoiding procrastination helps you stay on track and enables you to deliver quality work in a timely fashion without unnecessary stress and frustration. Effective research skills. Find scholarly sources quickly. Research is a complex process that requires higher levels of information literacy. In general, this involves the ability to efficiently locate information, assess the validity and reliability of that information, and be able to successfully use it to accomplish a specific task. The Internet is a gateway to an infinite amount of scholarly data that is instantly available at our fingertips, thanks to academic databases such as EBSCO, Jester, and search engines like Google and Bing. While academic databases are generally guaranteed to provide scholarly and peer-reviewed sources that are suitable for college-level inquiry, search engines are not. It is therefore important to know how to utilize a search engine like Google to conduct research efficiently and without wasting valuable time sifting through multiple pages of mostly irrelevant search results. Before we examine the efficient way to utilize Google when conducting research, let's first take a look at the improper way to accomplish that task. Let's pretend that our research is related to the topic of sustainable architecture, and our goal is to search the web for useful information related to that topic. This is a very broad topic, so the challenge is to gather academic resources that are both relevant and of a scholarly nature. Most importantly, we need to do so quickly and efficiently, so a good understanding of how search engines work is critical in order to succeed. If we begin by inputting the phrase sustainable architecture in the search field and clicking the search button, the search process would return hundreds of result pages beginning with a Wikipedia entry on the topic of sustainable architecture and followed by commercial websites with .com and .net domain extensions. Most likely, the majority of these sources are either irrelevant or cannot be trusted, since they're not scholarly in nature. As a result, combing through all this data to find a few relevant sources becomes a daunting task, requiring hours of labor. Now let's take a look at how, with only a few tweaks, you're able to filter out almost all irrelevant search results in Google and only retrieve higher quality sources that are suitable for college-level inquiry. As in the previous example, I begin by inputting the search phrase sustainable architecture in the search field. Then I'm clicking the search button. Once the search results are displayed on the page, I will instruct Google Search to filter out these results and only show me specific file types from very specific sources. To do that, click Settings, then Advanced Search. On the Advanced Search page, you will see the keyword you had entered earlier along with a number of parameters to help you narrow down your search results. In this example, we're only going to change two parameters: site or domain and file type. Under site or domain, we will instruct Google to only return search results from university websites. In this case, it's the domain extension edu. You may also consider the domain extension .gov to include sources from government organizations. Under file type, we will select PDF. Once you click the Advanced Search button, Google only displays academic articles in PDF format, which significantly reduces the need to assess the sources of your information. As demonstrated in this example, with only a few adjustments, you're able to quickly and efficiently generate scholarly sources on Google when conducting online research. Other resources on Google. In addition to its standard search capability, Google offers other alternatives that are tailored specifically to academic and scholarly research: Google Books and Google Scholar. Both of these resources are excellent tools that simplify the research process by automatically filtering out all commercial and non-scholarly content. Google Books, books.google.com, is a very large database of scanned print books and digital publications that Google has publicly made available at no cost. Google gives access to the full text of books that are out of copyright, and would even allow you to download those books as PDFs. Books that are not in the public domain can still be accessed, but in preview mode, where only a certain percentage of the book is viewed. Google does not give a downloadable version of these books, but it provides options to easily locate them in a nearby library. Google Scholar, scholar.google.com, is another Google product that contains millions of scholarly and peer-reviewed manuscripts, including books, dissertations, articles, and other types of literary documents. Search queries on Google Scholar often return results that include full text in PDF format. Google Scholar conveniently places an automatic citation feature below each search result, allowing to easily manage and track all your documents. Reading and note-taking strategies. Reading is a major component of learning for any college student and in any discipline. It is also a time-consuming activity that demands focus and a defined strategy, especially when dealing with lengthy and complex materials. Unfortunately, it is common among students to underestimate the importance of reading and the various skills and mechanics involved in deconstructing various layers of meaning. As a result, a student either engages in aimless reading that leads to a shallow understanding of the thesis and main ideas of the author, or spends more time and energy on reading than is actually needed. Both of these approaches are impractical, ineffective, and may indirectly lead to plagiarism. Reading for a purpose. It is important to distinguish between the three different purposes of reading. In general, we read for pleasure, we read to identify surface-level meaning to determine the answers to questions such as who, what, where, and when. And we read critically for the purpose of engaging the author's ideas through analysis, questioning, and reflection. As a college student, you are often challenged to read a long, complex text on abstract and unfamiliar concepts. For this type of reading, you need to be clear about the actual objectives of the reading, and if you're not sure, ask your professor for clarification. Common reading objectives include identifying the thesis and main ideas of the reading, identifying important details of the reading, doing an annotated bibliography, partially or fully summarizing the text, determining the author's purpose and tone, making inferences and connections based on your understanding of the author's ideas, and responding to or critiquing the ideas of the reading. Reading with a clearly defined purpose makes the process of reading more manageable, allowing you to save time and energy as you strategically target specific elements of the text. Annotating. Reading a scholarly text is an active process in which the reader is engaged in a dialogue with the ideas and arguments of the author. While reading, you are expected to perform a variety of cognitive and critical thinking tasks, such as identifying key information in the text, raising interesting questions, and making predictions. With a strong annotation system, you're able to achieve a good understanding of complex text, save time, and are less likely to commit inadvertent plagiarism. Note, however, that effectively annotating your readings means more than randomly underlining, highlighting, and circling text. In fact, this shallow form of annotating is counterproductive and is more likely to cost you valuable time and lead to more confusion later. A properly annotated reading does the following. It breaks down the reading into multiple sections. This helps you identify the introductory part where the main thesis is most likely to reside and the body section of the text where you will find the author's main ideas and supporting details. It applies different annotation tools to identify different elements and does so consistently. For example, if you underline main ideas with a red pen, use a highlighter to mark examples and other supporting details. Lastly, a well-annotated text uses the page margin to reflect on and react to the ideas of the author. This includes a brief summary of the main ideas in a paragraph or an entire section, keeping track of important keywords or unknown vocabulary, and quick personal reactions to the ideas being read in the form of questions, predictions, or implications. Whether you're reading a scholarly article, a novel, a short story, or even watching a TED presentation, annotating is a key ingredient to achieving a deeper understanding of the ideas and can help you generate the raw material for future analysis and synthesis of those ideas. End of course modules. Congratulations! You have successfully completed all the course modules. Next, you will take a comprehensive exam that you must pass in order to receive your certificate of completion. The minimum passing grade for this course is 85% or above, but note that this grade can be different if you're enrolled through your institution.